This is Andrew Wade, and we're continuing the overview of my Bus Glue series. We've covered drums, bass, guitars, keys, and vocals. Now let me show you the last module, the final cherry on top. It's the mix bus module. Let's check it out. All right, one of my favorite ones. Let's check out the mix with the plugin bypassed. All right, as soon as I unbypassed it, you can see that the compressors start going even though they're all the way down at 0. Now, don't forget, all these plugins have an optimized input button that just automatically puts your input at the right volume for all these compressors. So let's start there. Step 1, click this button and just hit play. All right, there we go. All right, so you can see that the compressors aren't compressing anymore. That means we're at the optimal level to start working. So just like with the drum plugin and a lot of these other ones, the compressors are designed to help let transients through, so it's not just totally smashing and destroying everything. One of the biggest problems that I have whenever I'm doing a lot of bus processing on the master is the kick will get smashed, it will disappear, the snare will disappear, everything just kind of blends together too much. And it's easy to accidentally get to that point. So we've tried to make it more difficult for you to get to that point in the design of these plugins. So let's check out what each one does. The first one, called Multiband Comp, is a very optimized, this one's probably one of my favorite here. And it does just as the name implies. It is built-in parameters for a multiband comp to make your mix sound punchy but compressed at the same time. Let's crank it, see what we get. So you can clearly hear that the low end of the kick is still coming through, the snare is still coming through. Let's turn it all the way up. Let's see how much we can abuse this. And you can hear just by me turning this one knob more high end, but still a lot of transient. So just this one knob in itself is very powerful. And that's just the first knob, okay? You can hear it's kind of taming those harsh high mids. Let's turn that back down though, so we can go through the next one. The classic comp, that's a little more like, you know, an SSL type style with my favorite settings. And on my buses, sometimes I'll use multiple compressors to get a super modern sound. That's why all these are up here. Sometimes I have a little bit from each. Sometimes I mainly have one, but I'll let you choose. So let's check this one out. So you can see, even though I have that cranked all the way, I have it pretty extreme, it's still not destroying everything. And again, that is the main point of this plugin series. And you can tell by the way that this compressor sounds, it's not really affecting the overall frequencies as much as the multiband comp. It sounds more true to just how the mix sounded already, but a little more compressed without going too crazy with it. Let's hear what this sounds like on the verse spot. It's a nice tucking of the snare, but allowing it to still pop through. Very nice. All right, here's another compressor. This one is based off of several different compressors, so it's just called, the Gold Comp. Why not? You can hear this one has a faster release time than than these other two. It's got a more, the transits are still there, they're a little bit pokier sounding. So there you go. You got 3 very different flavors of compression that can all be used in conjunction or just one at a time. But I mean, you're guaranteed to find something you like just in these 3 knobs alone. But again, my favorite one here is the multi-band. That is why it's first. Now let's go to another very important feature here, the low compression. This is just compressing the lows. And my point in designing this was to have a nice relationship between the kick drum and the bass guitar. And I noticed sometimes that's all a mix needs, is for you to be able to hear the bass guitar a lot more present between the kicks to give the whole mix a more consistently huge feel. And you'll find that in this knob here. So let's check this one out. And it has a nice audition feature here. Let's click on that to see what we're affecting. So if you're listening on decent speakers, or if you have a sub or nice headphones, you should be able to hear the low mids and the lows become more aggressive as I turn that up. However, the kick is still punchy, and that's the whole point of this. We're not destroying anything. We're just getting it all to mesh together a lot better. Let's crank this without the audition button clicked in. I just instantly hear it giving it that low aggression, that low mid aggression, which is great for a style like this. And then we have some of my favorite EQ curves down here, just to enhance the lows. This one is more than an EQ though. I think this generates some of the frequencies as well if they're missing. So let's just kind of see what this one does. Let's turn this stuff down. Actually, let's keep that up a little bit. All right. And right here, I mean, as you can see, this is just high end. And it's a curve that I like on the masters, or what I notice, or what I feel like is missing most of the time from the high end in a mix. So you can see just each of these knobs in itself is very powerful. So let's kind of go through these quickly and dial this in. And you can't forget this very important feature, the mix slider. Let's check it out. And there you go. It's so easy to dial in a very modern sounding, compressed but not too overly compressed, aggressive mix just by using these few features. We also have just this little limit, the output limiter, just so, to control those, the peaks and stuff. Let's check that out. I'm not going to push it though. All right, so that is there if you do want to push it a little bit, but it's not meant as a full mastering limiter. It is more of like a safety limiter to make sure that you're not going over before you maybe send it to mastering or send it to your final mastering limiter. But that does it for the bus glue mix module and all the series. Thanks for joining me on this walkthrough of my bus glue series. Grab your free trial today at joeysturgistones.com.